Hi Ashutosh,
Hi
welcome
Pankaj.
to Supermorpheus' podcast series. So, we are recording this under the umbrella of startups and evolution. And within that, we have a founder series that focuses on the journey and the work. Founders, doing certain kind of deep conscious work. So, welcome to this. Thank you for your time.
Thanks Pankaj, thank you for having me and would love to be a part of this discussion.
So, mostly obviously we would love to hear from you, and I will keep nudging you with a few questions as and when. So, I mean, maybe we can start from your childhood. How was what was your upbringing? What did it look like? What was the environment growing up home? Any influences, growing up? So we can just sort of start from there, and then as and when something comes up, I will keep asking you.
Yeah, I had a very interesting childhood. So my parents had a love marriage, and because of that, their families were not able to come to terms with that, and they were like on their own for quite some time. I was very pampered by them, but at the same time, once I was born, then their parents sort of reconciled, and that's how it happened.
And you are the elder child.
I was the first child. So that way, the initial period was a lot of pampering, which was good. But then it was also a lot of middle class values. So everything was sort of driven by the fact that there is something needs to be done to be able to achieve something.
Yeah. And where was this?
So I was born and brought up in Ujjain in Madhya
Ujjain.
Pradesh. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can remember a lot of stories where if I needed something, it was always linked to some sort of an activity which I had to kind of milestone that I had to achieve. And that was the kind of middle class values that were instilled during the childhood. So that I think is something which was very important, because a lot of times you get things too easily, and then you don't really understand the value of the work that you need to put in. So that way I feel really lucky that I had that upbringing.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to hear maybe a couple of instances of what you just spoke about.
Oh.
And you have a younger sibling also.
I do.
We've known each other for a while.
So quite a lot of instances. So I think I can remember one of these times when I was, I wanted a bicycle, right? I mean, all of us do, right?
Absolutely.
As kids. So I obviously gave this demand, and the thing in my household was that we never got any money, as in we never got pocket money and stuff. It was like a tendering process where you need to submit the request of what you want, and if it is approved, then you get it.
Absolutely.
And you don't have any money at least. So that was it. So I expressed my interest for a bicycle, and I was told that if you have this exam coming up, and if you do this, you basically get these many marks and this rank and all that, you'll be given the bicycles. So I was like, I started, because that was the motivation that I needed. I studied really hard, and I basically missed the marks. So I was supposed to finish in top 3, but I was 4th. So I did everything, and I had basically given up on the hopes for the bicycle. But then, sure enough, there was a bicycle for me. And then I was a little confused about it, and I tried to inquire with my parents that why did this happen? How did this happen?
Yeah.
And they said process is as important as the results, and that was something that, and they were able to reward me for the work that I had put in, rather than just for the results that I had gotten, and that was a very big lesson for me as a kid.
Yeah. And then you grew up in Ujjain, and did you go to college there? I mean,
no, so I studied till 12th in Ujjain, and then after that I went to IIT Kharagpur. So from there, 4 years in Kharagpur, and hostel life, lots of memories, lots of great friends. And when you're in your school, everyone is a topper in their school, or whatever, top 3, top 5. That I was a topper kind of person. I was like in sports, in other activities. So I was kind of finding that balance, that I have to be good in studies, but also I have to be good in other things as well. So that was me. But when I went to IIT, everyone was like a topper. So sort of a reality check that you are among the best of the people in the country itself. So again, because your peers are so good, you obviously get inspired by them, and that takes you to the next level. So that was again a very interesting experience.
Got it. And then how did it unfold after that, in terms of, work usually starts for most of us?
Yeah, again, work-wise also I feel I was quite lucky, because I joined this company called Infosys. But in Infosys, what happens is you basically end up working for a few years, and then you get more opportunities, get exposure and all that. But in my case, what happened was there was a there was a project manager who turned out to be, who's basically the first mentor that I had. He was trying to build a team, and he was working on a project which was quite an interesting and a new project, and he wanted to get people who are different. And he just took us. So basically I was one of the freshers that he just took, and he put us on the job. The first project that I had was I was sitting in front of the client in Finland. And again, that was a great exposure. I was basically preparing a lot to actually go there and work with the client. And then once I went there, I was able to deliver, and our entire team delivered, and we got the project, and it ran for several years because of all those efforts. So that was again a great experience, and I learned a lot from my mentor in that case, because he wasn't worried about the fact that he's taking a bunch of freshers.
Yeah.
He was confident that he can lead them to the outcomes that he had planned and envisioned, and that again was a very inspiring and it also sort of, I always feel lucky that I was at the right place at the right time at that moment.
Yeah. When you say different, like he was, not afraid to take people who were different. What do you mean by that? Like what was different?
So he was looking at, so for example, we were from IITs, right?
Yeah.
So we were, in that sense, we were expected to be a certain way. We were supposed to be,
understood.
you can say, more innovative or more sort of free-spirited, risk-taking, and
type, so to speak.
And if there's something which is more challenging, he sort of had this hunch that these guys will be able to do it. They'll push themselves.
Yeah.
So that kind of work ethic, because he was also from tier 1 set of colleges. So he had certain understanding, but he had this hunch that it's good, and then he had evaluated us before he actually. So he had a lot of different stage gates that he had planned to get us in. Not that he just took it because we had certain tags.
Yeah.
Right. So the manager had a certain ability to identify talent, and he had that risk-taking appetite as well as the ability. And the most important part of it was that he also understood how to mitigate the risks. So he was taking a bunch of freshers who he thought have potential or may have potential.
Yeah.
But then he also made sure that he understood that what he believed is true.
Yeah.
And in process, he also added a lot of value. So what it is sort of made me understand was that if a leader is really good, he can actually rally the teams. And it doesn't need to have the best talent or the most skilled people. You can actually create the right kind of environment to get the best out of people who are not at that level also.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately you have to take risks in order to create things which are not existing right now. So all of these were like very strong inspirations and sort of helped me a lot in the years to come.
Yeah. And where was this? Like which place was this? You said Infosys in
so I was placed in Finland.
Finland. Okay.
And then I also went to France. So France was in Airbus, and Finland was a company called Valmet.
Okay.
So both these were very good experiences.
Okay. And then, coming back to, obviously Liger, which is what you're building, and it's been some time. But obviously this is not your first startup. Your startup journey sort of, there was some change somewhere, right? So, can you maybe go into, what inspired that, and then what happened after that?
Right. So
which made you build your previous one.
So right from the start, I had this in mind that I will build a venture at some point. First stage is to kind of get the competencies, first work in teams, work in corporate environments, learn technologies, learn business. So after like a few years of working, I had it in mind that I'll work for X years and then resign and then start, no matter what happens basically. So I did exactly that while I was in France. In Airbus, I resigned, and people were like shocked because everyone was cheering me to sort of live there forever, and same thing was in Finland, and I just kept coming back saying that there are a lot of people who want to do this. I have set up something and I want to do something new, so I want to go for a next challenge, which is kind of which will help me grow as a professional, as a person, and not really do the same thing. If I've set up a project, I want to move out and set up another project. And once I did enough of that, I thought I was in that right space to now venture out and start something. Because being a part of the system, you have certain challenges, but you have a lot of stuff which is already given to you. But when you have to build your own company and then create all those systems from scratch, the learning experience is much bigger. So I just had this in mind that I will, and I wanted to do it in India. So I obviously resigned, and then I resigned, and then people were a little shocked, and I obviously said I will honor all my periods of notice periods, and I will actually honor more than that to make sure that all the transitions are done properly, and I did that. So it was like 2-3 months of notice, but I served like 4-5 months, and I was happily, I was released and came back here. Then once I came back to India, my previous managers who were in India were also like a little shocked, and they also wanted me to stay on. So they were like, why don't you just try it out for some time? You have so many leaves remaining. Maybe you can take a sabbatical and then come back. And I was very sure that I want to do it, but then because I had leaves and I said I wanted to respect their judgment as well, so I said okay, I'll take the sabbatical for like 2-3 months and come back. And then I took the sabbaticals for 2-3 months, and I was obviously, my decisions were not changed. So I came back and I said, see, I've taken the leave also, I still feel the same. And then I was released there also. So everybody was sort of happy.
And what time frame was this? What year was this?
So this was back in 2008.
Around 2008. Okay. And then you sort of transitioned into creation.
So then I started building a startup called Easy Square Feet, which was building software solutions, ERP, as well as customer relationship management and supply chain management solutions for real estate segment, which was a very unorganized segment, and the entire process of how the service was given. So we were able to create a lot of value. We were able to inspire a lot of agents who were not very professional at that point. And we were able to give them systems and tools which helped them increase their business. Customer experiences also, we changed a lot. And it was thriving pretty well. But eventually it needed more time. So the mobile app was still kind of in the early stages. We needed something which gets it on the phone. Most of the stuff that we had was enterprise sort of applications, and we needed our professionals, real estate professionals, to use a lot of machines and stuff which they used to use in our office. We wanted it to kind of become more of a mobile app sort of a paradigm, and that is what we were working on. But things were a little slow, the kind of resources and the kind of opportunity costs. So at some point my co-founder, and he had his own pressures of family and stuff, so we had to then take a call that we would, so it was becoming a lifestyle sort of a business, and obviously we could have done much more with our time. So that is when we decided to call quits on that, and it was like 2008 to 2011 period, which was like also the period when all the market crashes happened. But with all of that learning, what I realized was that I want to build something which is more of a physical, tangible product, which is like a hardware and a software combination. Because just making a software product, either it has to be a freemium or it has to be a very niche product on a SaaS model, and all of these businesses, what I realized is that physical products are obviously, they are more tightly integrated and they clearly perceive certain value. I mean, the perception of value is very clear for everyone in that case, especially for the end consumers.
You wanted something tangible, something you could touch and feel.
Touch and feel was what, and hardware was hardware was something that I was not very well versed with. That, so then I started learning hardware related ideas of IoT, as well as the entire electronics and all those kinds of things.
And this was in 2011.
So from 2011 to 2013, 14, 15, I basically did a lot of projects where I expanded my abilities beyond software, and so initially it was a lot of software for engineering industry, where we were managing the product life cycle for the entire, so you can say, bill of material for engineering products, where the process is right from the concept to how do you actually then prototype, design, and then finally release a product. So all of those stages and what are done in those stages, all of that was my understanding. But then beyond that, with more and more understanding on hardware and control systems and electronics, I was able to now come to that understanding of how to build hardware products, and that is where I met Vikas, my co-founder. So he worked in NVIDIA. He had done his electronics engineering. I had done my engineering, which was in control, which was a lot of control systems, equipment design, and so all of that kind of together, we were like, making
good
something
team.
and coming across as a team which can do a lot.
Yeah.
And with his understanding in electronics, I used to bounce off ideas that, okay, I'm stuck here, what do you think about this? And I was also doing electric vehicle prototyping at that stage to understand how exactly an electric vehicle functions and what are the challenges to build an electric vehicle. And in all of that, a lot of learnings that I was getting through all of those projects, I was able to share with Vikas, and we used to bounce off ideas and he used to give me some great advice. And during all of that process, we realized that even Vikas, after his MBA, was realizing that he also wants to build something like this. And it all sort of converged in a direction where we said, let's do something in this space. And there were a few things in the electric vehicle that were the challenges, the batteries and the traction motor. And what we realized is that all of these are fairly proven, and a lot of good work is being done by various people. So if we start building an electric two-wheeler, what is a differentiator? Because we'll be just another player. And that is when balancing was the idea that we thought it appealed to us. We were like, this can solve a problem which is currently not being solved, and it will also create a very differentiated product. So for us to be able to then create the demand as well as be able to service that. If we are just another two-wheeler, it'll be difficult to cut through the noise, right? So plus we'll be for a niche. We will not be in the mass market initially. And that's what appealed to us, because the problem for certain people was very real. And that is how we started, and since then we started working on various ideas.
So Liger, which is what you guys are building, and just to share a bit of a context, I mean, Liger is an auto balancing electric scooter.
Correct. So Liger has auto balancing as one of the technologies. We are also building on other technologies which are also going to be add-ons. So ultimately it's about safer and more comfortable experience for the riders, be it understanding road surfaces in low visibility or understanding different people coming from different directions. And right now this information may or may not be there with the rider, but if this information is provided, there are better decisions that the rider can take at real time, and which can lead to safer road experiences, avoid accidents, not just for the riders, for it is also safer for everyone else on the road. So that's the overall vision that we had, and we continued building on that.
So I just wanted to step back a little bit, and maybe if you break it down, right, how did the inspiration for the auto balancing came? Because I mean, and I have experienced that in the past, more than once, and it's a beautiful experience, and after you experience it, it's very obvious also, which of course it wasn't till some inspiration came. So if you can break that down a little bit in terms of how it came about, I think that'll be good to hear.
So the exploration started with the fact that if we are building a two-wheeler, do we really build a two-wheeler, or we build something which is a very differentiated feature on the two-wheeler? And what is that differentiated feature? We didn't know. So then we kept on trying to figure out, and then we realized that what is it that is lacking. So obviously two-wheeler falls when it is at a lower speed, and who will benefit from it? So there are a lot of people, like people who are short-heighted, they are able to ride right now, but they have a certain amount of discomfort in continuously coming up and down of the vehicle. And there's also a possibility where these riders have a certain amount of stress, because they are able to manage it, but they would not want that stress.
Back of your mind.
Plus there are certain riders who are like middle-aged riders who actually have some sort of a physical ailment, or actually some stress in the back or knees or whatever. So again, going up and down again and again is a challenge. And then there are new riders who want to start but are not very confident. So something like this helps them make that journey into the two-wheeler.
And honestly, during monsoon, I don't want to.
Absolutely. So during monsoon,
I used to drive a lot of bikes.
So during monsoon, you just don't. I mean, while you're riding at a low speed, if it's a very sort of the traffic is very stop-start sort of crawling traffic, then you will have to keep on touching up and down. And if you are having an auto balancing scooter, you would just go very slowly and without really worrying about how many times you have to stop.
So you guys sort of, so once this came about, right, that this is what you feel inspired. So how did it then go from there? So I mean, a lot of times we end up thinking that idea is everything, but
idea is like just the tip of the iceberg. It completely evolves, or it takes a lot of time to actually implement it. So our first step was to then prove it to ourselves that we can do it.
Yeah.
So started off with a tabletop assembly where we had like 5 kgs overall weight, where we tried to kind of balance that. And once we were able to do that, then we knew that we can do everything else also. We can keep on increasing.
Sort of just like a weight that you were trying to
Yeah, just weight on 2 legs.
Okay.
And without any wheels, nothing. Just the fact that we can balance it on 2 legs. And once we did that, that was the first win. After that, the idea was to take it from 5 kgs to 300 kgs, which is a bike plus 2 riders, and it is moving.
Yeah.
So complexities increase manifold. Yeah. So the next stage was we made a rolling chassis where I had a lot of gym weights, and we used to keep putting these weights on the chassis and see how much we can. So that kept on increasing, and then we got to a point where we were able to balance about 150 kgs. That is when we went to Sign IIT Bombay and presented what we had done. We got some support from them. We won some certain grants from Department of Science and Technology. Then that is when we then started taking 20-year-old vehicles. We wanted to be very cost effective and rip them apart and then put balancing system in them and then actually run them around and again look at 1 rider, 2 riders. So all of that journey continued.
Yeah.
In process, we also figured out what is our differentiated IP around it and filed for the IP, and then we got the IPs granted. So all of that was like the first stage of demonstrating that credibility that we built something which can actually add value, and it has some core strength to it, some uniqueness to it.
Got it. So, and I mean, I've known you guys for years now, and I've seen this being built. And amongst many things, right, one thing that also stands out is this has not been one of those ventures where, you know, you're raising a lot of capital and you're sort of spending a lot of capital. And, you know, having known you, I have noticed, right, you have a tendency towards very deep work, right? You are very dedicated to your work, right? I mean, so it'll be nice to understand also, right, like where that stems from, right, and how it sort of incorporates into the work you guys do.
So great question. There are 2 ways to build something. One is you put in a lot of resources and within very less time you make it. The other is you spend a lot of time with minimal resources. So we've gone with the approach of taking as many resources as we want and being patient, because certain times what happens is if you plant a seed, no matter how much water or how much fertilizer you put into it, there is a certain process and time that gestation will take. Yes. So in certain cases like automotive technology, it's a very well regulated industry. So there are certain milestones that need to be done, a certain amount of testing that need to be done. And if you put in a lot of resources also, it is not going to change the outcome a lot in terms of the timelines. Absolutely. It will only be a scenario where you're putting in a lot of resources and later on finding out that all of them were just overheads.
Yeah.
So if you look at a typical OEM which is already in business, they don't create a new model with a lot of investment. They obviously use a lot of carryover data which is from the previous generation of vehicles and then add in the innovations, and they have very optimized set of teams as well as the overall plan.
It's very dedicated and focused work.
So, but as a startup, we also had this inclination initially that maybe we need to do that.
Yeah.
And we need to put in a lot of resources and then it will just happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the capability that is the most critical and most valuable part of building something, not the resources, because if you don't have the capabilities, you can just waste the resources basically.
Absolutely, which is what you will end up doing then. You have to let your inspiration.
So we realize that we are building something in a space where we have relatively less experience.
Yeah.
So first we need to make ourselves capable and put in that time, and then gradually add people, and all of that is all capability being built over time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if we say that we are not capable of doing this, and then add more people who are not capable, and then we are not capable of managing them to to the outcomes that we want, then the resources will and the time will very quickly fly.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we have tried to hit every milestone with certain amount of resources that we believed, and the part of the proof is that the destiny has always sort of helped us go along, right? It has helped us continue, and it has just given us the right amount of resources to move for that next milestone.
I like that.
So when we started with the patent grant, once we got the patent grant, then we decided we will look to develop the product. We got the resources to develop the product. Once we developed the product, the question was whether people really want it, because of course people have seen videos.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that it's path breaking. A lot of people are confused whether it's real or it's a VFX video. So we went to the Auto Expo to then validate that whether should we put more resources in this endeavor. When we went to the Auto Expo, we got the overwhelming responses which made us believe that people are looking for this and it is going to create value. Then we put in more resources to start certifying it and testing it and making it ready for production. And we've actually produced something which is a very differentiated in terms of what it is offering, and with the amount of resources which are much less than typically it is done. And of course we have the advantage that we have come at a time where people have already created the market for us, both in terms of the supply chain and both in terms of the awareness of electric vehicles, and on the other hand the imaginative product that we have catches the attention of people as well. So it's a mix of all these things that has helped us come to this point with as less resources as possible, optimal amount of resources. And we believe that the real value of the resources will come in when we are ready with the product, which we are there right now. And putting resources for scaling something which is already proven is the right way to sort of put in the maximum amount of resources, rather than adding a lot of overheads to try and develop it very fast, when you can actually end up splurging the resources rather than actually optimizing them.
Yeah. Also, I think it also comes from actually, you care about, what is being built. So when you deeply care, when you have resonance with what you're building, then you also care about what you actually put out, right, in front of people, and how the experience of the person and the user is going to be, right? What value they will derive out of it, right? So, while as you rightly said, right, you can splurge and you can spend a lot of money, but there is a path that you can't avoid, right? Whether you spend a lot of resources or not, in terms of creating a path for the product, which comes from actually care and creating value. Not in that outwardly sense, but I think for you it matters. And I think that's been the journey also.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are very hands-on with the product. So the core of the product has been built by the co-founders, and both of us are very hands-on with the technology. So all the IPs that we filed, all the core technologies that we built have all started from us, and that the entire product experience is something which is very close to our hearts. So we test the products more than anyone else actually. Now is the stage where now the product is in road trials and more people are riding it, and of course like hundreds of kilometers in a day. But we continue to keep testing it and engage with a lot of users to understand what they are thinking about it. And that has also helped us keep the resources to a minimal, because we are in touch with the product. We are in touch with the technology and very hands-on with it. So we don't have to delegate to too many people basically. We have like a small set of people who are directly working with us to build the product with us.
Also, obviously I've known you for quite a while now, and there is an aspect of your life. You're an artist in the sense, when we speak about art, what we typically mean, the traditional forms of art could be music, could be singing, could be dancing, pottery, painting, right? These are sort of, when we talk about artists, we have an image of people who do something like this. I've always also looked at entrepreneurs as artists. In a way, they are creating something that does not exist. Like, what does a musician do? They create, or they bring to life something that doesn't exist. That could be a piece of music, or that could be, a painting. It just comes to life through you. And entrepreneurs to me, right, are like that. Now, I also know that in the traditional sense of the word, you are also an artist, right? You are a music player, like you play a lot of music and you sing also. And I also want to maybe go into a little bit of, has that aspect of your life, I mean, maybe how did that inspiration comes about in terms of, let's say, creation at Liger, which to me, again, as I said, I mean, that's also art in its own way.
True. So creating a venture is pretty
Yeah.
much a form of art.
Yeah.
And any art for me is an expression of one's creativity.
Absolutely.
Right? So be it music, so be it playing music, or be it singing, or be it writing music or writing a song, all these things for me are an outlet of my creativity. What I want to leave for the world, and what is it that I am feeling right now, and what I want to express. So it's something very it's sort of an identity of who I am, right? And similarly, the products that we create are also what we feel about what we want to do for the world, or what value we can create for others.
Yeah.
And they are sort of very tightly integrated. One thing flows into another, and all that happens. And what I also realize is that the more you create in various segments, the more your creativity grows, basically. So this is the only thing where you spend something and you get more of it. So it's a very rare form of thing. So the brain sort of expands. So if you are learning a new thing, be it music or be it art or be it a sport, the more you do, more you put yourself in scenarios which are beyond your comfort zone, it just pushes you in a direction where your brain says, okay, now I can do this also.
Yeah.
And which means the next thing that you face is going to be, it used to be much more challenging than what it was, but now you have done something which you thought you could not do. And then the next thing also seems like you can do it. So that to me has always been the source of inspiration, that I need to keep expanding what I can do and what I believe I can do. And
which actually, like what you said, right? I think you become an artist in more and more parts of your life.
Absolutely.
You start operating in, let's say, all parts of your life from the place of inspiration, from that intuition, which is that expansion, right? It's you expand, and then your expression becomes more and more aligned with who you are.
Absolutely, because being an artist makes you more imaginative. So today, what you imagine today, tomorrow will be science, and then day after tomorrow it could be the reality of everyone doing that thing, right? So an artist doesn't limit, right? That okay, this is not possible, but artist just looks at the imagination, and then the ideas sort of flow. So talking about intuition, right? So I think that has been a very important part of all the creation process that we've been into.
Yeah, and I have experience, right? I mean, you actually playing and singing, and it just, there is no sense of any ownership. There is just complete surrender to whatever is happening. And I have been, I mean, an absolute beautiful experience, like for hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, that helps you unwind as well. And if you have, so entrepreneurship brings a lot of stress, right? As we all know. So all of this helps you stay grounded, and you have that outlet of letting go and sort of being in touch with yourself, and not taking things too seriously at times when you should not. And so you have to find that balance, because as an entrepreneur you have to keep going, and whatever it is that helps you keep going.
So coming back to Liger a little bit, right? So you guys obviously, right? I mean, you build it very, very, frugally, let's say, right? In a very optimized manner. And more than that, I feel it's been very organic. As and when there has been a need, like sort of, you will bring whatever is needed to take care of that and keep continuing to build from there. So, and obviously I have experienced, the riding the vehicle in the recent past, a few weeks ago. So where are you in that journey right now? And then what do you see, right? How do you see it unfolding from here?
So right now we've completed the product development, supply chain development. We've also got the certification. So legally the product is ready. It has approvals.
So you mean, let's say, it's ready to
Yeah, it's
for a
ready to
person
go to.
ride on the
It's ready for. So legally, we can start selling it. We have the portal registrations. We have the state transport authority approvals in Maharashtra. We also have the trade plates on the test vehicles which
It's
are
like
running
a
on the
proper
road.
bike almost.
Yeah, so we can technically start selling it. We are right now a few more milestones that we want to. We basically want to complete a few more milestones on the testing and road tests, and then start opening the orders. While consumer trials will continue and people will can experience it to understand what exactly the functionality is and what the experience is. Because I mean, it's always exciting to see that expression on people when they experience it for the first time.
Oh yes.
And yeah, so that is what motivates us, that how exactly are they feeling when they ride it.
And you know, speaking of that, what you were talking about, right? That you build capability, right? And you obviously you care about the work. So how does this translate into, let's say, hiring people? Because I mean, hiring is something that, I mean, anybody, right? I mean, it's almost always a challenge. But so how do you actually go about making, you know, finding people, and how do you also then work all of you together towards this, you know? And I've seen, you know, I've been to your workplace, I've seen, right? I mean, it's very peaceful, like it's very harmonious. So how does that come about?
So hiring, we have always looked at people who believe in the vision and are looking to be a part of it, apart from, of course, the benefits of you can say the compensation structures and ESOPs and everything else. But it's that core belief that they want to change the way the things are, and they want to be the difference, right? So that's the kind of.
How do you figure that out in people? Like when you're, let's say, talking to them, or what? How has it been in terms of experience?
I think it's a lot of intuition actually, where you see it in their eyes, the way they talk and the way what they have done. So it's a lot of also the demonstration of how they have been, because a lot of times I can say I am something, but my actions don't demonstrate that, right? So,
which is what you were talking about your first mentor, right? Where it was not about what was on paper, it was about sort of just having an understanding of the people in front of you.
So it's more about understanding their experiences, how they have done things, why they have done things, what are their motivations. And you're right, it's not always possible to judge that in like a couple of interviews and stuff like that, which is why you also work with them for some time and then judge and basically sort of keep that period of evaluation for the both parties. And ideally, we also look at projects. We figure out if there's a project we can do for an intern or something, and if there is a synergy during that longer period, we then sort of hire them full time. So all of those different tactics are there. And the other is if you have known somebody for a while, so that's the easiest way to know, because then there is no question of faking, right? So you already know that person. So that's usually the preferred method, where there's a clear referral or clear known individual, where we know that there are certain traits that resonate with the vision and mission that we have.
Yeah. And you know, how do you, so you've known Vikas also, right? And Liger journey, it's been 6-7 years?
Yeah, it has been more than 6-7 years right now. 7 years for sure.
7 years. And you and Vikas have obviously known each other even longer than that. So
yeah, we have known each other.
How do you guys sort of?
That is a very interesting story. So Vikas had gone to ISB with some of the batchmates from my Kharagpur batch.
Yeah.
And that's how we had known each other, and we used to bounce off ideas. And then once we started working together, so our first video, which was a concept video, which started trending because it got leaked. Because what happened was we used to share it with people, because when we used to go for meetings with...
And the concept of Liger, you mean?
Yeah. So initial prototypes which we had made, a lot of people were, we understand what you're saying, but we have to explain it to like a lot of people in our teams, be it investors or be it vendors and all that. So do you have something which is going to kind of clearly demonstrate? So we made a video, a 1-minute video, and which sort of demonstrated everything. And it was obviously, when we make something like that, it's always really high class, high quality video, because we have a good team on the creative side as well. So good music, good narratives, everything, and proper visuals with all the balancing in action and what can be. But it was a 20-year-old vehicle, so That was the only part of it, that it was clearly to demonstrate that it's a concept, not a product which is ready for sale.
Yeah.
And we shared it with people in a WhatsApp message.
Yeah. And this was what, 6, 7, 7?
Yeah, so around 2019, compressed file.
Yeah.
And a lot of meetings happened, we shared it, and we used to whatever. So the interaction started becoming smoother because now people had something to show to their internal teams. But then one fine day, we started getting a lot of queries on our website where customers were looking to buy the product, and like within like 1 or 2 days, we got about 200, 300 queries, and we were like, that's insane amount of queries because nobody knows we exist.
Correct.
We just have a website and
200 people looking to buy.
And we just have a contact form, and we're not even sure why we put it because we were not looking to take anything. And then we figured out, I started tracing how exactly these are coming, and then I got to a point where I saw that there's some influencer who had sort of shared that video on their LinkedIn because they just keep sharing 10 things in a day to kind of get their traffic. And then some other channel which had taken that video, which was a low res video, and put it on their channel, which had about 100,000 subscribers, and that channel got about 1 million or a couple of million views. And that trend continued basically. Like we kept getting about hundreds of orders in a day, and then there were like series of WhatsApp. Almost every WhatsApp group I was a part of, I saw this video in that, and people asking me that, is this you? And I said yes. Like, you never told us that you were doing this. Like, I've never told anyone. It was not intended to be out, and I have not. This is not my doing, by the way. And then my mom gave me a call. She was like, the Kirana store guy in front of our house has shown me this video. Why have you sent it to him and not to us? So I told her also that it's not us. It's like it has gone. It has trended across the globe, not just to the Kirana guy. And she was like, oh. So I told her that this was not our intention. So moms being moms, she got worried. She was like, oh, so this is not intended. Is it bad for you now? So like, no, nothing is good or bad. I mean, whatever it is, we'll see. So that was the initial period of. So at that point, we got a lot of comments on our videos and stuff. And one of our mentors, one of my JE coaches, he commented saying, congratulations, Ashutosh and Vikas. So I was wondering, why is he talking about Vikas? And then Vikas was wondering, why is he talking about Ashutosh? And then we found out that Vikas and I had studied with the same coach during the JE. And we were in different cities, of course, and in different years. So he was in Indore and I was in Ujjain. So we were we went to the same JE coach, which was something that we found out later. We were connected through our IIT friends who then studied with Vikas in ISB. And I think you were also there in that.
Yes, he was my classmate. So I've known him obviously longer than I've known you. And how's your...
So you have known him longer than I have known him actually.
That is true actually. It's been almost 15 years. So how is that? Like, how do you guys sort of work with each other? Like, do you have, patterns? One has certain patterns, one has other. Like, how do you navigate that?
So both of us are very different, at the same time very similar in certain ways. So
that's the origin, like, because I know both of you also.
So which is a good part because together we make something which is quite complete, and I mean what I lack he has it, and certain places I am able to fill certain gaps. So plus in terms of the areas of skills also we are very different. So electronics, hardware is something that he is obviously the one. I am looking at a lot of engineering side of things, and software is something that we both work on. So there's a lot of collaboration there. He is somebody who looks at a lot of aspects of the electronics, electrical, as well as on the areas of finance, marketing. Both of us are very hands-on. So between the two of us, the entire set of things which are being done, they all kind of finally come to us. And that is where they start flowing downwards also.
Got it.
So as of now, that is the way it is. Moving forward, of course, it will change, and there will be a layer of people who will start coming in between, and we will free ourselves up for things which will be required. But our focus has always been that whatever is required, we are there to do that, and no matter what it is, even if it is beyond our comfort zones. But if there's something which needs to be done and there's no one else who can do it better than us, then we do it. And if we find somebody better than us,
Yeah.
we just put that person and then do the next thing which
The
requires
team
us.
building, basically.
Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
beautiful way of team building.
Yeah.
That when you find somebody who can do that,
Yeah.
and then you can.
Until you don't find somebody who can do that or is not comfortable doing that,
Yeah.
we make sure that we take it on us
Yeah.
to basically get it to that point
Yeah.
where either we find the person or we deliver.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very organic also. Very organic.
It has been very organic, yeah. And it requires a lot of patience, of course. You can
Yeah.
feel that things can be slow.
Yeah. So I think maybe I'm sure we can keep talking about a lot of this, but maybe this feels like a good time we can pause this conversation. So thank you for your time, Ashutosh. This was lovely, and wishing you all the best, you and Vikas, for your Liger journey going forward.
Thank you very much, Pankaj.
Thank you.